officially begin our conference. It is my pleasure to invite Associate Professor Dr. Hani Cokro Saputro, SA Master of Management, the chairperson, to give the welcome address. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hani to the stage.
Sustainability is no longer about doing less harm, it's about doing more good by human science. Dear honorable guests, with great enthusiasm, we welcome you to the Tarumanegara International Conference on the Application of Technology and Engineering, TICATE 2024, and the Tarumanegara International Conference on the Application of Social Sciences and Humanities, TICASH 2024. Organized by the Institute for Research and Community Engagement of Tarumanegara. This conference is now in their fourth year since their initiation in 2019, provide essential platforms for intellectual exchange, collaborations, and innovative research. TICASH, with its theme, Sustainable Communities, promoting law-abiding behavior through digital education, emphasizes the importance of education in fostering socially responsible and sustainable communities. This year's conference has drawn over 250 papers from scholars representing Indonesia, South Korea, Canada, China, Austria, Japan, and the Philippines, demonstrating the interdisciplinary strength and global reach of the research community. Meanwhile, TICATE focuses on sustainable solutions, bridging energy efficiency and environmental stewardship for achieving SDGs. The topics covered include mechanical engineering, technology, sustainable design, which is critical for solving modern energy and environmental management challenges. With around 100 papers presented by participants from Indonesia, South Korea, China, Taiwan, and the Philippines, the conference showcases leading innovations and practical solutions. The success of these conferences would not have been possible without the generous support and contributions of many individuals and institutions. We express our deepest gratitude to the Tarumanegara Foundations, led by Professor Dr. Rabu, along with his team's member, and today represented by Dr. Hendrawianto, for their unwavering encouragement and continued support. The Rector of Universitas Tarumanegara, Professor Dr. Ahmad Sudiro, and the Vice Rector, Professor Rasji, whose guidance and commitment have been instrumental in fostering academic excellence. Our esteemed speakers, including Professor Barry Degalno, from University of Canberra, Australia, Professor Dr. Sam from INTI International University, Malaysia, Associate Professor Dr. Daniel Loy Tingwe from Sunway University, Malaysia, Professor Dr. Insinyur Fermantalianto from Universitas Tarumanegara, Indonesia, Dr. Agus Budi Darmawan from Institute of Semiconductor Technology, TU Braunschweig, Germany, and Dr. R.M. Gatot P. Sumartono from Universitas Tarumanegara, Indonesia. We also extend our heartfelt thanks to the Untar faculty deans, reviewer, moderator, MC, students, lecturers, and the organizing committees whose dedication and hard work have been crucial in ensuring the smooth execution of these conferences. Your collective efforts have made these events available platforms for academic exchange, collaboration, and innovations. We look forward to the insightful discussion and innovative ideas that will emerge from TICATE and TICASH 2024. May these conferences inspire future research and meaningful application that promote sustainability and societal well-being. Welcome
also have Director of the Institute for Research and Community Engagement, Universitas Tarumanegara, Associate Professor Insinyur Yap Chibeng, MMSE, MC, PhD, PE, MASCE, to give his speech this morning. To Associate Professor Insinyur Yap Chibeng, the time and place is yours.
The Honorable Professor Dr. Aryawan, Dr. Hendra Bianto from Tarumanegara Foundations, Rector Professor Dr. Ahmad Sudiro, Vice Rector Professor Dr. Raji, and all the invited speakers. Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to all present here, respected keynote speaker and invited speakers, presenter, participants, and students. Welcome to Universitas Tarumanegara, Jakarta, Indonesia. We have here two international conferences. The Tarumanegara International Conference on the Application of Social Science and Humanity 2024 with the topic of Sustainable Communities Promoting Law-Abiding Behavior Through Digital Education, and the Tarumanegara International Conference on the Application of Technology and Engineering 2024 with the topic Sustainable Solutions, Bridging Energy Efficiency and Environmental Stewardship to Achieving SDGs. It is my great pleasure to have all of you attending the international conference hosted by Universitas Tarumanegara. This conference is intended to be an exchange and dissemination activity for academics and researchers. We aim to facilitate collaborations in engaging the new opportunities for our academics and society development. By doing so, I hope we can uncover new insights, practical strategies, and frameworks that will guide our effort toward fostering sustainable, law-abiding communities around the world. Furthermore, it will also ignite new initiatives and collaborations, guiding our collective effort towards a more sustainable and resilient future. I would like to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation to Professor Barney Dalgarno from University of Canberra, Australia, for his willingness to speak as keynote speakers, and to Professor Dr. Tung Hai Sam from Inti University, Malaysia, and Professor Dr. R.M. Gatot P. Sumartono from Universitas Tarumanegara as invited speaker. I would also like to express my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to Associate Professor Dr. Daniel Lu Ting Wee from Sunway University, Malaysia, for his willingness to speak as keynote speaker, and also to Dr. Ing Agus Budi Darmawan from Institute for Semiconductor Technology, TU Braunschweig, and Professor Dr. Fernando Lianto from Universitas Tarumanegara as invited speaker. I'm sure we will have invaluable discussions and knowledge exchange during the plenary session. I would like to thank all the presenter, participants, and students. The paper submitted to TICASH and TICATE came from academicians and researchers from various institutions and different countries. Thank you for your participation and contribution to this conference. Finally, allow me to thank the Tarumanegara Foundation, Rector, and faculty members of Universitas Tarumanagara for all the support for this conference. I also thank to the organizing committee who have worked hard to ensure the success of this conference. Special mention to Dr. Miharni Cokro-Saputro as chair of these conferences. Hopefully this conference will inspire all of us to continue our work toward creating a more just and sustainable community. Thank you, and may you have a fruitful conferences.
Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Insinyur Yap Jibeng, for the warm speech. Next, we are delighted to have with us our Rector of Universitas Tarumanagara, Professor Dr. Ahmad Sudiro, MMMKR, MM. We will watch a video as we welcome our Rector for a welcoming speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tarumanagara International Conference 2024, where we bring together two significant events under one program, the Tarumanagara International Conference on Application of Social Science and Humanity, with the topic Sustainability Communities Promoting Law-Abiding Behavior Through Digital Education, and the Tarumanagara International Conference on the Application of Technology and Engineering focused on sustainable solution, reaching energy efficiency and environmental stewardships for achieving Sustainability Development Goals or SDGs. The first conference emphasizes building community based on responsibility, equity, and the rule of law, with digital education providing new opportunities to promote ethical citizenship and inclusivity. By fostering social responsibility, education can drive positive social change. The second conference addressed pressing environmental challenges, focuses in balancing energy efficient technologies with ecological conservation. This balance is vital for reducing carbon emissions, advances economic growth, and achievement the Sustainability Development Goals. Together, this conference offers the platform for broad leaders, practitioners, and students and collaborate on innovative solutions for a sustainability future. By uniting diverse perspectives, the aim to inspire dialogue, share insights, and build partnerships that contribute to theoretical and practical progress. I extend my gratitude to the speakers, participants, and organizers. I encourage all attendees to engage actively, share knowledge, and collaborate for positive change beyond the efforts. May this joint effort inspire us to contribute to a world where sustainable communities thrive. Technological innovations, post-environmental protection, and global development goals are realized. I wish you all a wonderful, great conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Ahmad Sudiro, for the welcoming speech. Now is the time for opening this conference officially. I would like to invite our special guest, Professor Dr. Tung Hae Sam, accompanied by Associate Professor Insinyur Yap Jibeng and Associate Professor Dr. Miharni as a committee chair. Now is the time for the photo session. I'm also invite all the committees and all the speakers to the moderators to come for a photo session. Also invited all to come facing forward to the stage for the committee and to take photo session with the attendees here in Graha Swara. Please facing forward to the stage. No, just stand. Just stand. And all attendees may raise up to have a photo session together here in Graha Swara. And I'm also inviting to all attendees and participants in Zoom meeting, please open your camera and take a pose together. All for the Zoom meetings participants. Thank you. Okay, thank you to all distinguished speakers, committees. Well, now the TICASH and TICATE is officially open. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to have the first plenary session for TICASH 2024. I would like to introduce our session moderator, Agung Saryatmo, PhD, who will lead the discussion. I will read a brief curriculum vitae of our moderator of today. Agung Saryatmo, PhD, got his bachelor degree from Industrial Engineering Faculty of Gajah Mada University, Yogyakarta, Master of Management from Diponegoro University, Semarang, and Master of Industrial Engineering from Trisakti University, Jakarta. His title of Doctor of Philosophy is majoring in Digital Supply Chain from Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, and in present, Agung Saryatmo, PhD, is now working as lecturer in Industrial Engineering Department, Universitas Tarumanegara, Jakarta, and lecturer for Master of Management Study Program, Universitas Tarumanegara, Jakarta. Please join me in welcoming Agung Saryatmo, PhD. The place and time is yours.
This, okay. So I sit here, right? Okay. Good morning, everyone. So, and welcome to TICASH 2024. Right, my name is Agung Saryatmo, and it is my honor to serve you as the moderator for today's session. So, our topic today is sustainable communities, promoting law-abiding behavior through digital education. So in this rapidly advancing digital world, so education plays a crucial role in fostering responsible and law-abiding behavior, which is essential for building sustainable communities. We are fortunate to have an outstanding lineup of speakers who will share the expertise on this topic. So first, we will hear from our keynote speaker, Professor Barney Dalgarno from the University of Canberra, Australia, who is joining us online. And then following Prof. Barney, we will have two plenary speakers. This one is Professor from Inti International University, Malaysia, and also Associate Professor Dr. Raden Mas Gatot Sumartono from Universitas Tarumanegara, Jakarta. We will be delivering their presentation in person. At the end of the presentation, so we will hold a question and answer. So for those joining us online, feel free to submit your questions in the link we provided, and also in person, just simply raise your hand and I will raise my microphone for you. So without further ado, so let's begin by welcoming Professor Barney Dalgarno for his keynote presentations. But before we begin, so allow me to give you a brief introduction of our keynote speaker. Okay, good morning, Prof. Barney. Okay, how are you today?
Good morning, Salamat Paji.
Okay, I will, let me introduce yourself first. So I just have a look at the brief about Professor Barney. Professor Barney Dalgarno is the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Education at the University of Canberra. So he holds a PhD in Education from the University of Wollongong and has over 25 years of experience in educational technology and also online learning. From his career, he has led major initiatives as acting pro-vice chancellor and director of learning online at Charles Sturt University. His research explores the educational and social impacts of digital technologies, including the learning potential of virtual, mixed, and augmented realities. Prof. Barney has made significant international contributions to over 140 publications and also award-winning online learning innovations, and his roles in editorial leadership for educational technology journals, books, and also conferences. Without further ado, Prof. Barney, the floor is yours.
Salamat Paji. Good morning, and thank you, Dr. Agung, for your generous introduction. I'd like to also thank the conference organisers for their kind invitation to me to deliver the keynote presentation today, which I'm delivering from the University of Canberra. Let me share my slides. So let me just try that again. Okay, could one of the organisers just let me know if my slides are being shared? don't think that's working. Let me try again. Hopefully that should be working now. So look, the title of my presentation today is Generative AI in Education, Opportunities and Risks. What I'm going to talk about is, I'm going to begin by talking about some of the current and future opportunities presented by generative AI in education. And in talking about current opportunities, I'm talking about technologies like ChatGPT and other generative AI text generation tools, as well as image and video generation software. When I'm talking about future opportunities, I'll really broaden that to a range of applications that we'll see as we see the merging of the different tools available today, but also the integration of those tools with other emerging technologies, such as augmented reality and other technologies that we can expect to see integrated with generative AI in the future. So looking first at some of the current applications of generative AI, we're seeing a lot of teachers make use of generative AI in a range of ways to save time in their day-to-day work. For example, we're seeing teachers use tools to help them with developing their curriculum mapping documents, their scope and sequence documents for their lesson programs, their individual lesson planning. We're seeing teachers draft assessment tasks using generative AI, but also administrative tasks such as when teachers need to take children on an excursion outside of the school. Often there's some paperwork to be done, some risk analysis, and generative AI tools can be helpful for that. And I think all of those kinds of examples are unproblematic for most people. Slightly more problematic, I guess, is the use of generative AI for providing feedback on students' work or providing comments to parents on students' progress and performance. And the reason why this might be problematic is that the students or their parents often would expect that the words that are provided to them in terms of feedback or comments on children are the teacher's own words rather than words generated from an AI. But certainly the use of tools to help generate the text while ensuring that the ideas are consistently the teacher's perhaps are slightly less problematic. When looking at academic work, we're seeing a number of examples where university lecturers are making use of generative AI. For example, planning for teaching and assessment of university students, exploring literature as part of their research. So often these days, people are using a combination of document database searches and other kinds of traditional tools such as Google Scholar alongside generative AI technologies to help them to develop understandings of new areas of literature. And of course, we're seeing academics make use of generative AI to complete admin tasks such as performance plans, risk assessments, and travel plans. All of those are pretty unproblematic. I think slightly more problematic would be the use of generative AI for assessing student work, for drafting grant applications or drafting research articles. But we would naturally assume that these things are actually happening. And then if we look at the use of generative AI by students, more unproblematic might be the use of generative AI to seek information, to help to develop an understanding of new concepts, and to provide feedback on draft assignments. But more problematic, of course, is when students are using generative AI to actually draft or even write entire assignments, or polishing or rewording assignments to improve the language. These things are generally considered breaches of academic integrity within most schools and universities, but we know that they're going on. So these are current scenarios. Let's have a look now at some of the future scenarios. And in looking at future applications of generative AI, I want to look at, to begin with, the challenges that we see within school classrooms, within workplace learning for university students, and within just-in-time learning in people's day-to-day lives, and how we could expect to see generative AI helping to address those challenges. So the first one I want to look at is the school classroom. So one of the biggest challenges in classrooms across the world is the number of students in a class that a teacher needs to teach, and the ever-increasing expectation on teachers to provide a degree of personalisation, a degree of personalised learning for the students in the class. Now, traditional pedagogies where the teacher expects the children to all listen and receive the same instruction and then carry out the same learning activity can be done with large numbers of students in the class. But we know that the most effective learning occurs when the learning for the students is differentiated according to their current needs and their current understandings, and when students receive individual feedback from teachers on the actual learning activities they're undertaking. This, of course, is challenging in large classes. So how can generative AI help us with this challenge? So what we can imagine in the future is that all children in the class, as well as having a teacher who's organising the whole class and providing support for all the students, we can expect that each student will have on their desk a computer or some piece of technology with an AI assistant supporting the learning of that student. What we can expect is that after the teacher gives a general explanation of the work that we're going to do today, the teacher will then hand over to the individual AI learning support assistants to provide personalised instruction, ask students to carry out tasks on paper using concrete objects or on the computer, and then provide immediate feedback to the students as they progress through those activities. And we know from all of the large meta-analytic studies that individual feedback is the one thing that can lead to multiple standard deviations above the mean in learning gain. And so we can expect that with these kinds of tools, we will see students accelerating their learning in every lesson. Another of the challenges that we face across the education spectrum is providing workplace learning for university students. Now, my own area, of course, is focused on teacher education. And so when our students do their workplace learning, they go out to a school, they begin by observing classes where another teacher is teaching, and then gradually, as they become more knowledgeable and experienced, they begin to teach classes themselves, perhaps initially in small groups, but then addressing a whole class. They need to navigate the routines of the school, and they need to be able to respond to the diverse needs of children in their classes. If somebody's studying to be a nurse, then of course their workplace learning will be in a hospital or in a medical setting. And so different kinds of students need different kinds of workplace learning, regardless of whether it's in education or health or other disciplines. Those initial experiences of workplace learning can be overwhelming due to the extraneous cognitive load of the situation. The students need guidance and answers to questions during observations. They need prompts and cues to help them notice particular things in the workplace, they need tips about how to engage culturally with the professionals in the setting, and they need debriefs on all aspects of their experience at the end of the day. So how could generative AI help with this kind of a scenario? Well, we can imagine not far in the future, generative AI being integrated with technologies like augmented reality. We can already purchase augmented reality glasses as a consumer item that connect up to our phone or some other digital device and can actually, in a responsive way, provide us with information about about what is around us within our field of view. So we can expect that generative AI, coupled with this kind of technology, could provide scaffolding of students' practice when on a workplace learning placement. Help to direct their attention to aspects of the environment, provide audio commentary that connects practice to theory while they're in the setting. We could imagine scaffolding a student who's teaching a class with kind of labels that that help to identify things, as even simple things like a virtual name tag on the chest of each student in the class, but other kinds of prompts and cues presented through the augmented reality. And of course, all of the experiences being recorded for subsequent reflection, guided by the AI at the end of the day. The third learning scenario I want to talk about and describe some of the challenges presented by is just-in-time learning. Now, in the past, if we wanted to learn how to, cook a creme brulee and use a flambe torch to brown it, we would probably, go to a cooking course or perhaps borrow a book from the library. Of course, nowadays, when we want that kind of information, we generally pick up our mobile phone and we search for a video on YouTube. We watch the video carefully, then we put our phone down, then we try and do the technique, and often, of course, it doesn't work. We go back and watch the video again, we choose some other videos and so on until we get it right. Now that's challenging because we're kind of having to constantly put the tools down and pick up the phone, and we're trying to kind of find the right video that suits us in our context. So how could generative AI help with this? So with the combination of technologies available today, we could have a scenario where you have an earphone or an earpod in your ear, you have a wearable camera, maybe sitting on a buttonhole on your shirt, and through those devices, your digital device is constantly observing what you're doing and popping up with an offer to provide assistance. So if I'm trying to change a tyre on my car or carry out a task in the kitchen or figure out how to plant a seed in the garden, the technology will pop up and perhaps through augmented reality glasses or perhaps on my phone, show me videos and provide me with audio suggestions to talk me through the activities. We could expect that generative AI technologies will be behind these kinds of tools that will help us in our day-to-day just-in-time learning. So I hope that you, like me, see these examples as encouraging examples of really helping us to learn and helping us to teach students once the AI technologies available today are made more usable and more integrated with other technologies. But are these scenarios realistically possible? Perhaps I'm being overly optimistic about what's possible when presenting them to you. I'm mindful of comments by Professor Neil Selwyn, who's a well-known technology cynic, who says that the most recent period of AI resurgence has prompted intense hyperbole and exaggerated claims. As I have argued previously, he says the concern persists that there are not enough data points in the world to adequately capture the complexities and nuances of who a student is or how a school functions. So he would say that the classroom scenario that I presented is just not possible within current technologies. So just to do that reality check, it's worth asking what the building blocks would be in order to develop these kinds of technologies, and how quickly can we expect to see them. So I've kind of color-coded in green, orange or red the technologies we need and where we're up to. We need the ability to generate coherent responses to text requests for information, explanations or feedback. And of course, you know, ChatGPT-4 and other such tools are already doing this. We need text-to-speech and speech-to-text software with live transcription and live language translation. And of course, these are all readily and freely available. We need photo analysis and object recognition so that our technologies can see what we see and help us to identify and analyse the things that we can see. And these technologies are also well advanced. We need the ability to generate photos from text so that our devices can show us generated photos to help us with our learning, and these things exist. Of course, we need augmented reality glasses for a couple of those applications, and these are well advanced off-the-shelf products. Now, we also need video analysis. If we're going to expect the technology to see what we see, for example, a complex classroom environment or a hospital or some other kind of workplace environment, perhaps walking the streets as a person training to be a police officer, we need the technology to be able to, on the fly, live, analyse video. Now, the technology is there to analyse video, but not quite yet in real time. We can analyse after the fact the video and work out what's going on and provide commentary, but it's not quite possible to do it fully, flexibly in real time. Similarly, video generation exists, but it isn't able to be done immediately in real time. And then finally, in order to provide software that provides intelligent tutoring and guidance to students, we need to bring together some of the technologies from intelligent tutoring systems or cognitive tutors, which have been researched for decades, but we need to bring those together with generative AI. And they use different kind of models of knowledge and so on. So there's a lot of work to do to bring those two kinds of building blocks together. But at the speed at which things are happening, it's not ridiculous to think that all of the scenarios that I've presented to you could be available within the next 5 years. So I'm saying to you that we can imagine future scenarios where generative AI really helps teaching and learning. But so far, I've ignored some of the important problems and risks. And so I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the problems and risks presented by generative AI in education, so that we can really weigh up whether the risks and problems outweigh the opportunities and benefits. So the first one I want to talk about is assessment integrity. Almost any written assignment, and I, you know, the picture of the elephant, of course, is that I'm saying that the elephant in the room with all of these positive scenarios is, of course, academic integrity. Almost any written assignment can be completed to a reasonable quality level by generative AI. And it's almost impossible to reliably detect whether a document has been written by generative AI or by a student. Mismatches in writing style can easily be addressed by the student by tailoring the prompt. And if the students are not motivated to learn, they can very easily fake learning and go through their whole schooling or their whole university degree with very little learning. The second problem I want to talk about is bias and discrimination. AI tutors exhibit bias. We know that they're trained from databases. These databases are often built with large amounts of content from Western or American kind of cultural areas, and so they have all of the same challenges of other kinds of media that are presenting a kind of a hegemonous view of culture and potential discrimination due to the data from which they are trained. Sexism, racism, and other forms of discrimination are being built into the machine learning algorithms that underlie the technology behind intelligent systems, says Dr. Craig Crawford from Microsoft. Other problems, reduced human engagement. If we do all of our learning through augmented technologies, then we lose that human engagement, that engagement with human instructors and coaches, which we know is kind of a critical kind of element of student learning. And we have to be worried about what students might miss out on if we take away the human out of learning. There's also a potential detachment from reality through the overuse of augmented reality interfaces that can lead to a kind of dissociation from the real world. And the number of researchers have pointed out the risk of that dissociation and a lower sense of objective reality presence, with an impact on mental health, and depersonalisation, and losing the ability to actually engage directly with the real world without augmentation. Other social risks, of course, are lost human jobs. We could imagine a scenario where if we can teach 30 children very, very effectively with the aid of AI tutors, what's to stop a government bureaucrat saying, excellent, well, now you can teach 100 students with 100 AI assistants, and they can save themselves from the employment of 2/3 of the teachers. So we can see that in a whole range of different applications. And so there's a real risk that we'll have large-scale unemployment as a result of the human jobs taken over from AIs. There's also an environmental impact, which is not talked about enough. The amount of energy used by generative AIs sitting in those server farms in the middle of the ocean is absolutely huge. And the amount of water that they need for cooling is also really huge. And so the environmental impact is often not costed in to the cost-benefit analysis of these technologies. So just briefly then, can we address these issues? A lot of work is going on around assessment integrity to try and rethink the purpose of assessment, the capabilities assessed, and how authentically we assess them. I do think that the assessment integrity issues can be addressed if we're prepared to move away from traditional forms of assessment. Bias and discrimination can be addressed if we can broaden the databases that train these systems, but also we can use prompts to tailor the systems. We can, when we're prompting a generative AI, we can ask it to generate a response that would be an appropriate response from a person that's grown up in Jakarta and is a 25-year-old Muslim woman. And the technologies have enough data in their systems to tailor their responses according to that. So we can kind of tailor them away from their existing bias by tailoring our prompts. Can we do something about the reduced human engagement? This needs more research, and also the consequences of that disengagement from the real world needs research. We really need a big lot of work in society to think about how we're going to use our time if a lot less employment occurs. How can we share that? How can we ensure that we still have enough money to live on if we only need to work 2 days a week? And we need to solve the energy and water use. We need to make sure that if there's anyone paying for the AIs, they're also paying for the cost of the environmental repair that's needed if we're going to use these things in a sustainable global way. So to finish, I ask the question, do the opportunities outweigh the risks? And that's really the question we all need to ask as we decide as policy developers, as teachers, as students, how we're going to make use of generative AI in the future. And I really like this quote from Professor Danny Liu at the University of Sydney. As AI does more and more, if we approach it thinking about what is left for us, we diminish ourselves as humans. Instead, if we think about the new possibilities that are opened to us at each step of AI's improvement, we expand our horizons and expand our humanity. So that's my presentation, and I think we're taking questions at the end of the session. I look forward to answering some questions.
Thank you, Professor. That's exactly 30 minutes. Exactly. Okay. Actually, we do have some kind of questions from the students or participants who come here, but I think we will hold the question and answer until two keynote speakers will speak today. So, is it possible for you to hold moment for the question and answer later? Professor? Okay. For the next, I will invite Professor Dr. Tung Hai Sam and also Dr. Raden Mas Gatot P. Sumartono to come to the stage. Thank you very much. So now let's proceed to our plenary speakers. Good morning, Prof. Sam, and good morning, Dr. Gatot. It's lovely to meet you. Okay, it is my pleasure to introduce. The first one is Professor Dr. Tung Hai Sam, or we call Prof. Sam, yeah, Professor and Director of International Relations and Collaborations at INTI International University, Malaysia. Please give applause to Prof. Sam. Okay, I will introduce a little bit about your CV. It's very impressive. I read the CV about 33 pages, so I can summarize about in one sentence. It's so difficult, but I will do my best. Okay, Prof. Sam is a multidisciplinary researcher with expertise spanning both science and technology domains. In addition to being a professor and researcher, he is also an entrepreneur and also a pilot. Okay, it's very interesting. His contributions extend beyond academia into business sectors, both in Malaysia and also internationally. He was honored as a young talented scientist for Asians by the People's Republic of China, and his research focused on intelligent and precision agriculture, among other areas. Prof. Sams, you have 20 minutes to do your presentations. Prof. Sams, the floor is yours.
Check, my check. 1, 2. Thank you very much, the moderator. Yes. And a very good morning to ladies and gentlemen. I think I need to greet our Honorable Dr. Henry Vianto, our Rector Professor Dr. Ahmad Sudido, and our Vice Rector Professor Dr. Rasji. And also, I would like to thank Universitas Taruma Negara, right, for inviting me to this special event, our conference of TICATE and also TICASH, all right. And also, I would like to express my gratitude to the chair, our Professor Mihati, and also my good friend and also my mentor, Professor Zep. Yes. And thank you very much. I would like to have a speech today regarding the application of technology management, okay, in business industry as well as agriculture industry. All right, so I'm not used to sit and speak. I need to move. I love to move around and get interaction with our students and also the audience. Okay, I believe that I'll be given 15 minutes, 20 minutes. All right. Okay, so time's countdown, huh? Okay, so because I was told that today we will have a lot of students from the universities today, so I won't make it a very technical speech today, all right? And I would like to share, because I'm from business industry before I joined education industry. That's why I have involved in quite a lot of in industries and business. A few of them, they are in the field of technology management, which is IoT, AI, as well as big data. All right, so today I'm going to share with you one of the technology, which is Internet of Things, and how Internet of Things can be one of the applications, okay, in various industry, and how Southeast Asia countries can make good use of technology management to assist them in their business industry as well as agriculture and education industry. Okay? Okay, so this is my profile introduced by our moderator just now. Okay? So take a look at the Internet of Things. So what is Internet of Things? Internet of Things is, we know Internet, right? Internet is to connect the people. And Internet of Things is to connect the hardware between one to another. Okay? So this is Internet of Things. So it will connect things together. All right? So though this is some definition of it, I do not want to go deep into it. Okay? Okay, there is 5 senses of the human beings, right? We feel, we see, okay, we hear, we smell, and we taste. Am I correct? So based on these 5 senses of human beings, Internet of Things developed into a technology which possess all these kind of characteristics. Okay, this is the architecture of the technology of Internet of Things. We collect data and we communicate, we analyze, and at the end of the day, we act. Okay, we make a decision based on the data. Okay, so what you have seen here, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the technology of the transmissions of the data. Transmission of the data. Take a look at it. So why I emphasize on this MB IoT is because you will have a sensor in the field, in the paddy field, okay? Paddy, right? Paddy field, okay? So you have a sensor, for example, the temperature sensor or soil sensor, and you gather the information from the soil, and how are you going to send it to your computers? How are you going to send it? So there are a lot of protocols, and the one that I'm showing you here is the MB IoT. This is called the narrowband IoT. As long as you have your telco line, for example, what telco are you using now in Indonesia? What is that? Telkomsel, right? As long as you have Telkomsel, as long as your handphone has this coverage, and then you can send the data via telco service. Okay? So because I've been using many of the protocol to deliver, to send the data, however, they was very expensive. So this is a good one, and this is very fast. Okay? So what is Internet of Things? Now both of us, we bought Huawei smartwatch, okay, and as well as our Professor Gatot, and he is also using Huawei. I'm not promoting that, but it's just that most of us, we are wearing a smartphone at this moment of time because of we love exercise, because of they provide some special function. For example, if you have a smartwatch at this moment of time, some smartwatch, they have the function of measuring your heartbeat and measuring your blood pressure. Am I correct? So this is one of the examples of Internet of Things. You are wearing a smartwatch, and after that you are being measured by the watch with the blood pressure. Okay? And there is a young man in overseas country 40 years old. One day he was in the lift, and suddenly the smartwatch alert him because the blood pressure goes up to 180. And that moment of time, he just ran out from the lift and went to the hospital. Okay, but before reaching the hospital, his records, okay, medical records, has already with the hospital, okay, and the hospital has already been informed that he has already get into trouble. When he reach the hospital, okay, and he will get the immediate treatment, and this young man was saved. And this is a real story, okay? This is a real story, and this is how technology saved our lives, save human beings, okay? So this is one of the example of IoT, Internet of Things. Okay, and my research, same as Indonesia, Malaysia is the second largest producer of palm oil, right? And kelapa sawit, okay? That's why my research was using the Internet of Things and also technology to help our countries, okay, to better manage their upstreams plantation, which is in the oil palm industry. Okay. So this, after knowing what is Internet of Things and how to collect data, from the field, and now I would like to share with you a few of my real projects, the actual project that I've been done for the past many years before I joined the education industry. So this is one of the, I was using drones to collect data from oil palm plantation, okay? And I worked together with our Malaysia largest laboratory, agriculture laboratory, worked together with the government, MPOB, all right, and also worked together with the industry, okay. So the slide is moving a little bit slow, all right. So this is about how I start my research, okay. So for your information, I'm a pilot. I fly aircraft, okay, a small aircraft. And this is what I started my research with, building an aircraft and embedded with the technology of IoT and AI, and to spray the oil palm industries, to spray the oil palm trees in the plantation. So this is my research, okay? So this is the comparison, and this is our airstrips, our flying club in Malaysia. So later I was using the drones to help the oil palm industry to do the spraying. So this is one of the projects from the oil palm industry that I've been done for our country, for my countries, okay? So do you know there is a beetle? We call it a rhinoceros beetle. A beetle with what do you call that? It's like a rhinoceros, a beetle, and this beetle will eat the shoot of the young plant. Eat the shoot of young plant of oil palm, young plant. So in plantation, so they are going to spray. You're going to use a chemical to spray in order to stop this insect infestation. But now it's very labor intensive. Okay, that's why I designed a drones, okay, and to use a RTK, that is a real-time kinematic solution, to stop on top of the oil palm tree and do the spraying, okay? And it needs a very accurate GPS, GPS, what do you call that? Yes. The point of the drones has to be very accurate. So we are using the real-time RTK, real-time kinetic. So now the cost of this RTK is dropping tremendously. So we get it from China, okay? So now it's very affordable. So I solved the problems of the oil palm industries in Malaysia for my countries and for my government. So this is one of the projects that have been done. And this is another project that I done for the tissue culture lab. Because a good oil palm trees, and Malaysia will, the laboratories of Malaysia, okay, in agriculture laboratories, okay, they will take the good tissue culture, okay, good tissue of the strong and healthy oil palm tree, and then they are going to breed it, and after that in the lab, and then after that they are going to sell the seeds. So they approached me, the government approached me to do what? To do the AI for the selection, the AI technology for the selection, instead of using the human eye to select the good tissue of in the lab. So this is another project that I've been done. All right. So the IoT application is in shiftlets farming industries. This is another one in the manufacturing plant using IoT and AI. Okay. So all these projects that they are actual projects, and I only can choose a few because of the time constraints. All right. So this is another IoT application in the Smart Campus. I did it for my university because there are students who paid about $1,000 to stay in the hostel, and this is included the electricity. Okay. So students will go back to their home country, and they will turn on the air conditioner for 1 month and then turn off. So this is the problem that occurs in most of the university dormitory. So I provided a solution to the university to get a sensor which can detect the movement of human beings, not the object, human beings. So if you want to detect a movement of human beings, what is the difference from the normal one? Because human beings has temperature, right? The human beings has a shape. So this special sensor can detect human beings. When human beings is not in the room, all electricity cut off. So I installed 10 set of these devices in the dormitory of my university. So it saved a lot of money as well as saved a lot of energy. All right? Smart Campus. Okay, so I was in smart home systems before. Okay, so this is another AI systems in durian recognition, Musangking. Okay, D24. All right, so it can recognize the durians, what do you call that? The shape of the durians, by the shape of the durians to determine what kind of durian it is. Okay. What types of durians. And then talk about the opportunity and challenges of technology management in Southeast Asia. So there are a lot of opportunity in Southeast Asia regarding this technology management. For example, the market growth potential. So there are great growth of the market potential now, okay, in Southeast Asia. Industry transformation. A lot of industry, they transform themselves to be a digital environment, okay, as well as the education industry. Am I correct? So another opportunity will be the innovations ecosystems, okay. So we need to be innovative, otherwise we are not going to survive in these markets, okay. And our customization for local needs and sustainable development. You need to customize the technology for your universities and as well as your industry and the companies. All right? And in order to be a sustainable one, okay, in the sustainable development. So the challenges of the technology management will be the infrastructure and connectivity, all right? And then, for example, Malaysia, we are still lacking of some infrastructure. For example, data center, okay? For example, what do you call it? The fiber optics to connect the internet, okay? So all this infrastructure is very crucial and critical for the development of technology management, okay? The skill gaps is also another challenge for the Southeast Asia countries to develop the technology, okay? Because we do not have the skill and technology as advanced as other countries, for example, China and Western countries, all right? And also the cost and return on investment. It incurred a lot of cost, okay, expensive devices. The return on investment is still unknown and uncertain, okay? All these opportunity and challenges will deter, okay, the challenges will deter Southeast Asia countries from developing their technology and also the management in the countries. Okay, so I think my time is up. All right, a very short time. I wish I can have more time with you later and give you a seminars or a speech later at your university. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, please give applause to Prof. Sam. So thank you, Prof. Sam, for your insightful presentation on maximizing business efficiency. So next we will hear from Dr. Raden Mas Gatot Sumartono. So allow me, before you speak, maybe allow me to give you a brief introductions of our plenary speakers. Dr. Gatot. Dr. Gatot is an associate professor at Universitas Tarumanegara's Faculty of Law, holding advanced degrees in economics and law from Universitas Diponegoro and also Universitas Gajah Mada, as well as an LLM from Harvard University, and he held a PhD from the National University of Singapore. With over 3 decades of teaching experience, he has held key leadership roles, including Vice Rector and also the head of the law departments at Universitas Tarumanegara, Jakarta. And he currently serves as chairman of its Center of Arbitrations and Alternative Dispute Resolutions. Dr. Gatot has published extensively on arbitration, mediation, and also environmental law, with notable works featured by Cambridge University Press and Springer International. He has also been a speaker at international conferences and served in various professional roles, such as CEO of the Indonesia Tourism Promotion Board and also National Coordinator for Legal Verifications for Indonesia's state-owned assets. Okay. Additionally, he holds also leadership positions in organizations like the Indonesian Advocates Association, or PERADI, and also the Harvard Club Indonesia. So without further ado, Dr. Gatot, the floor is yours for 20 minutes. Give applause to Dr. Gatot.
Test. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, for very kind introductions, and thank you very much also to everyone for having me here to speak at this very interesting conference. As we know that the theme of this as we know that the theme of this conference actually digital education, right? So that's why, because my background is from law, so I would rather focus still following the theme of this conference, digital educations, but I will focus exploring the important role of law. Anyway, I only have 20 minutes to speak, so let me just press my timer. Okay. And you know, actually I have quite a lot of slides for this, you know. the thing is that because of the time constraints, so that's why I cut the slides into only half. But before we start with my presentations about this topic, I think we're supposed to understand first what the meaning of digital education, right? So we have the same understanding, the same perception of this. Actually, digital education is the incorporations and use of various digital technologies. So no matter what kind of online technologies we use, so long as the tools is for educational environments, we can call it as digital education. So the purpose of this digital education actually is just to improve the learning experience and outcomes. So digital education actually encompasses a wide range of online learning platforms. So any platforms like now we are using Zoom, MS Teams, Moodle, like Google Meet can fall within this definition as well. And then afterwards, we need to know why we use these digital educations. There are several advantages that we can get from this system. First is that it gives more autonomy or flexibility. I think everyone knows, right? When we are using online learning during COVID period, for instance, we have more autonomy and flexibility. It means that we can do this wherever and whenever. Yeah. And then, of course, it can reduce cost. For instance, you don't need to go out, but you can just stay at home, and then you can still, engage with your lecturers. More free time, of course, and recorded content. This is very important for students, especially if they miss the class. Or, for instance, they cannot attend, or they don't really understand what the lecturer says. So this can give a lot of benefits for this kind of situations. Increase collaborations, of course, because if you use this online, you can collaborate easily, even if you are living in, for instance, like different locations. You are living out of town, even different countries, right? So this is why digital education is very, very important. But how digital education can ensure legal literacy? Basically, legal literacy refers to the understanding of legal rights and responsibilities. So it means that if you understand better about what is the right and wrong in terms of law and regulation, that means you have a literate, legally literate. So it is actually a foundation for compliance. I think it makes sense. If you don't know the law, you don't know the regulation, how can you comply with, right? So that's why this is the most important part as well. And digital education can play a very important role in enhancing legal literacy through, for instance, like, let me go through this. Interactive learning modules. So digital education can provide, for instance, like videos, quiz, games, and these tools actually can simplify the complexity of legal terms, because if you learn or you do your law degree, for instance, the class sometimes quite complicated because of some terms. Using this kind of method can make you much easier to really understand. And then lecturers can also present real life cases. And this kind of situations can make students easily understand the implications of the law. And then, of course, curriculum integration as well, And then digital education can also improve the legal literacy through organizing programs. For instance, focusing on cybersecurity, ethical research practices, and etc. And also reminding us that we may be, extra careful when we share information, because information is going to be very, very risky if you do not double check the contents of the information. And digital education can, enhance the legal literacy from that point. Resources and support and ethical culture. Okay, let me just proceed with these quite important parts, because to better understand the digital education, we must know the society, Actually, from the history's point of view, the society is divided into 5 stages. The first stage is actually, they call it hunting society, and then agrarian society, industrial society, and information society. And digital education actually is located in the 4th industrial revolutions because of the, the innovations of, or the burn of so-called as artificial intelligence or Internet of Things that makes the digital educations possible. So if you see here, education in Industrial Revolution, the 4th, you could see that it's not just the, e-education, that electronic education, that's online learning, but it also comes to rather different aspects, e-government, and marketplace, etc. Even this kind of situation may be not really imaginable for just a short time ago. For instance, we cannot imagine like taxi companies. Taxi companies must have cars, right? But now taxi companies may not really have cars, because for instance like Uber, Grab, Gojek, they can operate this kind of products without any burdens with capital to purchase cars, something like that, because of the Internet of Things. This also applies to the digital educations as well. And now, this is the main, topic of my presentations. What is the important role of law in digital educations? First is that law provides framework what is considered acceptable. For instance, like regulation on plagiarism, and then copyright infringements, etc. So with law, actually, digital educations can be more safer, and then they really understand how to deal with situations that make the just and healthy environment. And then governing online conduct. So laws can also govern some, very difficult situations, negative attitude, negative behavior, something like that. So that is quite important for us to really understand that in digital education, there is very significant role of law in there. And more importantly, if you see the Deterrence Act of unlawful activities, this is probably one of the most important parts of why, the thing is that if we talk about law, there must be something, a threat there, a threat of legal penalties like fines and imprisonments. This will discourage individuals from negative behaviors. So I can give you an example of this. For instance, like in copyrights. Probably everyone or most of us know that in copyright infringements or like book piracy actually are very, very serious situations, serious activities. But they are not really aware probably that such violations, according to Indonesian's law, can result in 4 years imprisonment, and also a maximum amount of 1 billion rupiahs for their fine. So if they are aware of this, they may be considered, not to behave negatively afterwards. And then also the other important role of law is, law actually is not just provide, a threat like punishment, but also offer incentive to those who comply with the law. For instance, like I just mentioned, copyright infringement. Copyright infringements can be punished quite, harsh. But the thing is that if the creators can produce something, positive, like he creates good writings, and then they can also get incentive for this. They receive royalties, for instance, right? And these royalties for the authors is for his whole life. And after he passed away, even he can still enjoy, I mean, his family can still enjoy 70 years of royalty, something like that. So this law actually, on the one hand, provide, incentive, and the other hand also threatened with punishments, and also encourage responsibility. And this is the probably one of the important parts of the functions of law, or the role of law in the digital educations. That is to facilitate conflict resolutions, because legal processes will encourage people to seek, legal remedies instead of, take the law into their own hands, yeah. Or in Indonesian, main hakim sendiri, they would rather comply, with the legal process. That is why law provides such facilities. For instance, like this one, conflict resolution through online. This is an alternative dispute resolution. This kind of facilities provided by law can give a lot of benefits, yeah, to those who want to bring these disputes not to resort to violence, but to resolve their disputes through more legal, avenue. So with this online, they can save travel costs. For instance, they don't need to, to pay if they are located in different areas. They pay like flight tickets, and then they need to pay, transportation costs, accommodations, etc. So this kind of alternative dispute resolution through online is going to be very, very beneficial to disputing parties. Ease of coordination, of course. And then geography is not longer a barrier because of the Internet of Things. Then the situation can change. And then with this online, dispute settlement, they can have more, mediators and arbitrators to choose, because they may not, just choose arbitrators from its own area, I mean, its own town or city, even its own country, but they can also choose their mediators from, different countries, from overseas. And then flexibility in scheduling, and then, of course, familiar environment. That is very important. When we have a dispute and we want to resolve our dispute in the convenient environment, for instance, like at home or at your office, where all the facilities are available, your secretary, is there. You can order your office boy to make you a cup of coffee, and this familiar environment can encourage people, can create, they kind of feel more comfortable with this. So conflict resolution through online can also give a lot of benefits. Okay, now the conclusions of all my presentations actually is, first, this is in line with the theme of this conference, that promoting law-abiding behavior through digital education actually is not just an educational initiative. It is a societal imperative. And then the second one is that digital education can establish standards in protecting rights and promoting legal literacy. And then, of course, this one is quite important. To embrace this approach, it's going to require innovation, collaboration, and commitment to making, digital education accessible to all. And the final one, of course, the role of law in fostering abiding behavior through digital education is very, very crucial, for fostering a peaceful and just community. So that's all my presentation, and I hope that you enjoy these presentations, and I'm very pleased to answer your questions, if any. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, now we are a question and answer session. So we only have, unfortunately, we only have 10 minutes. So for our in-persons, in audience, please raise your hand if you have questions, and we will bring your microphone to you. And also for your online participations, you can submit, by the link that we provide, and then we will read them aloud. I just checked from my phone, so we do have questions from Prof. Barney. Prof. Barney, are you there? Are you still there? Prof. Barney? Okay.
Yes, I'm still here. Yeah.
Actually, we do have 5 questions from the students from Tarumanagara University. So from Sylvia, from Giorgio, from Nugroho Adi, and also Ardiansa from Universitas Tarumanagara, and also from Peter Steve. But I only ask you one question. Actually, this is from Peter Steve. So he asks about Prof. Barney, what should students consider to avoid breaching academic integrity when using AI like ChatGPT while drafting assignments? Please go ahead.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting question.
Interesting, yeah.
It's each person who's teaching a university course will often make a judgment about the appropriateness of using generative AI for that unit. And a lot of universities in their policies rule out the use of generative AI unless the person teaching the course has agreed to it. And certainly, you know, in courses where students are developing their capabilities to go out and work in industry, they need to learn how to use generative AI because people in the industry are going to be using it. So in those cases, often the lecturer will say, I allow you to use it, but for these particular functions. But when told not to use it as part of the assignment, I think students should limit their use to using it as a tutor to help them to understand the material. So when they're working on tutorial activities and they want to check whether they understand something, you know, using the tool to sort of ask questions and get explanations is perfectly fine. But once they start using the AI to actually generate the text they're going to submit for their assignment, that's when you're breaching academic integrity.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any in the audience want to ask something for Prof. Barney or maybe for Dr. Gatot and also Prof. Sams? Okay, if not, I have a questions. The first one is for Prof. Sam. Yeah. Okay, Prof. Sams, you mentioned about the challenges of applying IoT, right, in various industries, including palm oil or also maybe in the future for smart campuses. My question is, given infrastructure and connectivity limitations in certain regions in Southeast Asia, right? What solutions do you propose to overcome these barriers and maximize IoT potential for sustainability and also operational efficiency?
Sound check. What? Check, sound check, 1, 2, sound check. Thank you for your questions. I think I need to make a quick one, all right, because of the time constraint. Okay, so at this moment of time, we are facing not only, especially Asia or Southeast Asia, we are facing a lot of challenges, okay, of implementing technology into embedding technology into the industry. Okay, so one of the solutions for the challenges, right? One of the solutions for the challenges will be the support from 3 aspects. First one is education. Another one is from the industry. Another one is from the government. Okay, government needs to provide a lot of support, and government plays a very critical and crucial roles to make these projects and make this, what do you call that, this technology management to industry possible, okay, by providing a lot of grants, okay, by providing a lot of financial support, okay, training, all right, to help the industry. On top of that, education also played a very important roles, and this is what I'm doing now, okay? I'm bringing the knowledge of technology management into the university, okay? Not only the courses like data science, like AI, you know, introducing IoT into the university. We also need to work together with the industry, okay? How all this knowledge is going to apply to the industry. That's why with the efforts and support from the government and education industry will focus on the knowledge, okay, and actual applications of all this knowledge to the students' future career. So working together with industry is also extremely important. Okay, so industry have to work together with our education industry, all right, business industry, education industry, to enable the students be able to use their knowledge, okay, and contribute to the industry in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's very insightful. So I just make a note about the collaboration, right, between government, industry, and also maybe some organization like campus, something like that. It's very insightful. Okay, thank you, Prof. Sams. Is there anyone who make a question from here? Okay, if not, I will check. Give me a second for the question and answer. Unfortunately, there is no questions so far, only from Prof. Bani. But one more thing before we finish, so I would like to ask for Dr. Gatot. Dr. Gatot, you mentioned about what we call from the legal perspective, right? Because you are expert in law. So I want to ask, what is the indicators, would you recommend to evaluate about the success of digital education initiatives in promoting, let's say, legal literacy and also to fostering law-abiding behavior? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for very interesting questions, and also I consider that is tough questions as well. He is asking about the indicators of the success of digital, educations for legal literacy. I think there may be quite several indicators that can, measure, the success of digital educations. First, in my opinion, is that the number of people. That means the more people are aware of law, that means the digital education is successful. You know why? Because when we talk about digital education, as the name suggests, digital, that means it can reach much wider audience. So it can reach the wider and then the more successful. It means that if the more people are aware of the consequences of violating regulations, then digital education is successful. The second one, in my opinion, is that in addition to this, is that awareness alone may not create compliance, right? Many people are aware of the existence of the law, but they violate the law. So legal enforcement, compliance here, actually is also an indicator of the success of digital education as well. So at the end of the day, we could see the indicators of the success of the digital education if there is an increase of those who are aware, of the legal consequences, that means legal literacy, at the decrease, of the violations of online, negative behaviors. If that can reach to that point, that means the digital education is successful. That is the two indicators, at least, that in my opinion can be used. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, thank you. All right, okay, you mentioned about the number of people using digital education, also the awareness of the people, but aware of the law, something. Okay, do we have, okay, we don't have time, unfortunately. So, by the way, so, okay, I will try to conclude for our today's session. So, I would like to briefly recap the key takeaways for today. So, in the presentation from Prof. Bani, he emphasized the transformation potential of generative AI in education. On also Prof. Sam, he focused on the Internet of Things. And the next was from Dr. Gatot. He presented on digital education for legal literacy. So heartfelt thank you from me, also from to Prof. Bani, and then Prof. Sam, and also Dr. Gatot for your thoughtful presentation. So I would like also to thanks to our audience, and also both in person, also in online, so for your active participation. So that concludes our session for today. I would now like to hand it back to MC, so with the rest of the program of TICASH. Thank you for your attention and participation. I hope you enjoy the rest of TICASH 2024. Thank you.
Give a warm applause to Dr. Saryatmo. Thank you. Now is the time for us to hand over for the certificates for all of our speakers. We would like to hand over certificates to all of our speakers for the TICASH plenary session. First of all, I would like to give e-certificate to our speaker, Professor Thank you so much, Professor, for your willingness to share your knowledge with us. And secondly, first of all, we would like to invite first from Associate Professor Insinyur Yap Chibeng and Associate Professor Dr. Mihani Chokro Saputro as a chair to forward here to the stage to hand over a certificate to the second speaker, to Professor Dr. Tung Hai Sam from Indi International University, Malaysia. May the committee take a pictures. Thank you so much for Professor Dr. Tung Hai Sam for the knowledge sharing for us today. Thank you. Well, let's for our next speaker is from Dr. Raden Mas Gatot P. Sumartono. Thank you to Dr. Raden Mas Gatot P. Sumartono for the knowledge sharing of today. Okay. Thank you to Associate Professor Dr. Insinyur Yap Chibeng and Associate Professor Dr. Mihani Choko Sapruta. You may go back to your seat. Thank you. And now maybe we have to proceed to our next plenary session to Professor Dr. Tung Hai Sam and Dr. Raden Mas Gatot P. Sumartono. Thank you once again, and maybe you would like to take a seat, or yes, okay. And now we move to TICATE 2024 plenary session, and we would like to invite once again Bapak Agung Saryatmo PhD as our moderator for the next plenary session. Please welcome Bapak Agung Saryatmo PhD.
Okay, I'm back again for TICATE 2024, right? Okay, is it still morning? 5 minutes, all right. Here we go. For TICATE 2024, so our theme for this event is Sustainable Solutions, Bridging Energy Efficiency and Environmental Stewardship for Achieving SDGs. So this topic is of critical importance, right, as we seek innovative ways to address global energy challenge while safeguarding the environment, all in alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals. And we are fortunate to have an excellent group of speakers today who will provide valuable insights into these issues. We will begin with our keynote speaker. The first one is from Associate Professor Dr. Daniel Louis Ting Wee from Sunway University, Malaysia, who will be joining us online. Also, the following is presentation. We will hear from our plenary speakers. The first one is from Dr. Engineer Agus Budi Darmawan from the Institute of Semiconductor Technology at the Technische Universität Brunswick, Germany, and also from Professor Dr. Insinyur Firmanto Lianto from Universitas Tarumanegara, Indonesia. Both plenary speakers will also be presenting online, sharing their research and expertise with us. So after all the question, after all the presentation, so we will have a question and answer session. So for those participants online, you can chat by submitting your questions on link we provided, and also in structural engineering from the University of Hong Kong and bachelor's in civil engineering from the University of Malaya. He is also a chartered professional engineer with Engineers Australia. His specialization in structural earthquake engineering has seen him contribute to Malaysia's National Annex to Eurocode 8 and also chair Eurocode 2 Part 4. Dr. Daniel has an impressive list of publications in seismic engineering and concrete mechanics, and he also serves as an associate editor for the HKIA, the Hong Kong Institute of Engineers Transition. Okay, Dr. Daniel, we are excited to hear from you. Please take the virtual stage.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, and I would like to thank the organizer of TICATE for inviting me to make a keynote speech for this conference. My name is Daniel Louis. I'm an associate professor in civil engineering, in structural engineering at Sunway University, Malaysia. I would like to talk about a topic regarding construction, and I've been doing this for a while now. It's a smart modular building, a preliminary design with a new machine learning model. So what you're looking at on the screen is a type of new construction technique, which is called modular construction. Now my presentation will basically cover 6 parts and about 20 minutes. Now, what you're looking at on the screen is basically a fast-forwarded video footage that is in Australia. That building houses nowadays, it can be a high-rise, it can be a middle-rise. Yeah, it doesn't require much in situ activities, so it can be prefabricated in the factory, and that enhance the efficiency and also the quality safety, and sustainability of the construction industry. Now, there are some notable modular buildings around us in Malaysia, in Indonesia. Let's say, for example, in Singapore, they have been doing it for a while now, and this is in Melbourne, in Australia. Now, however, whenever it comes to this question, like how to design modular buildings, not on the structural part per se, but on a general view, for example, like how many modules you should have, or what is the height, width, and length, and what sort of material and what structural form that we should use. I think these are the questions that puzzled the engineers. I think there might be some answers there in the industry. However, we have been asking around and there is no systematic way of determining this. So I've done some research together with my students and trying to answer this question. Now we have a proposed design philosophy here for the modular building, the planning for it, and basically it covers the characterization. Let's say, for example, we have a modular building project which consists of 2 towers here, and the whole project here, we gave a name of gross floor area called GFA of the whole project. Now this project, if we just focus on one building, so we can get the average gross floor area per building from a project level to a building level, and we slowly hierarchically go to the next level, which is the floor level. So the gross floor area, GFA per story, is here, and ultimately we go into how big that is one module on average. Now, having said that, this idea, let me bring it into another format of presentation. What you're looking here is putting the idea of the characterization just now from various hierarchy, from project to building, building to story, project to a normalized area of a module, from a story to a normalized of a module. All this can be represented in a simple mathematical model. It's a linear model, and I put it in Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Now all this, what I can do is I can combine them together. Say for example, now this is the 4-quadrant plot of the 4 quadrants just now, and if you see, I have the GFA project, building, story, and a module together. Now all this actually can be converted, and the slope are the mathematical function, which is the numbers. So it can represent the number of building, the number of story, and number of module as well. And if we get the real project that was already constructed and designed by other people, so we can get some sort of hint from past projects into our database. So we measure this, we can get an outer bound, like a region, telling us where is the feasible area for us to recommend how many buildings we need for this modular building, and so forth. Now, I'm taking this principle of a desired path. Now, what is a desired path? Let's say, for example, from destination A to B, we have a road that is L-shaped, and we are forcing the people to go from A to B having an L turn like this. However, when you know, through time, people will start to have a few attempts. So if the first attempt is not correct, but after nth time of attempts, you'll find that there is a shorter way, like a shorter path, like an optimized path. Now this is a experience-based design, and town planner has been using this, architects has been using this, and let's say, for example, a mall in 2016, and it happened to be like this. And after 2 years, you will notice that there is a path that is not constructed, but it was walked, and there's no more grass on top. And people keep walking there, and that appears to be one of the most optimized paths. Now, having said that, I would like to go into the next slide. Now, the next slide here is taking the same 4 modules and putting the measured data, and we keep taking more examples of projects. And finally, we can come up with a shaded area, which is a feasible envelope that we use it to determine our feasible solutions for modular buildings. Now, this is what I call a desired solution if your solution is within the path. But if your solution is out of the norm, it's outside, that means you are not conservative, people have not, it's uncharted, you might need to do a little bit more detailed analysis. Now, I want to stress that is, if you fall outside of the envelope, it doesn't mean that you are wrong, just that people has not done in that fashion before. So you might need a more detailed analysis. Now, after introducing the design philosophy, I would like to introduce on the data-driven design framework. Now, my student and I, we have collected all the real projects around the world as complete as possible on modular buildings. So that includes 40 number of projects worldwide, 77 number of buildings, and 900 over modules. And we put them into different regions. So for example, in Asia, in Europe, in North America, in Oceania. So all this envelope carries some sort of meaning based on its political, economical, social, and technological factors. Now, we have all this data, and we notice that with all this data, we observe something very interesting. For example, from a structural point of view, lower buildings, this is the number of story, and this is the gross floor area. A lower story is basically a linear type of setup for this modular building. You just stack them linearly, and it will go across very nicely. But however, if you go higher, let's say for example more than 10 story to 25 story, you will notice that the structural form changes from a linear to a few linear forms connected with a reinforced concrete corridor and with some core wall systems. Now, if we want to go higher, you have no choice but to go into massive core walls with spinal and centric setup, which is also evidently shown in the data collected. Say, for example, centric and spinal here. Getting the same data, we plot it in the number of modules with the gross floor area, and very quickly we can estimate how many modules we need using an empirical relationship. It's very easy to use very quickly for you to justify. Given the GFA of the project, you can know how many modules you need for that project. Now, we know that it's not easy for you to digest very quickly into all this, but if we put them together into Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and then the shaded area is the feasible envelope, we can get some sort of very rich contents of information inside this 4-quadrant plot. And we have devised some sort of steps in our paper for you to choose and learn how to use it. And we understand that it may not be easy enough. So what we did was we have programmed some free automated tools in a spreadsheet. And if you scan this QR code, you are free to download it. We have published a paper. We have given this automated tool free as well. those were the things that we did with a first paper in our publication. Then, so I have this idea that I got another student. We work on this and see how we can plan this out using the framework that we had, the DDM framework, and try to learn it using a neural network AI model. Let's see. Now, we know that our data may not be enough, so 40 projects, even though we have some 9,000 modules, then let's see whether we can enrich it by splitting it into 80% and 20%. The training set we make into 5-fold of cross-validation, and we use genetic algorithm to create more within the boundary that we have. And we work on a network architecture, a hidden network, neural network, and we use standard method to test it out with the activation function. And perhaps I'm quite happy to say that this is something new, not found in the literature, and we have devised a governing equation, and I would say this is a new model, a novel model, for us to estimate how many numbers of modules that we need in a modular construction. So we have devised this and calculate the losses and total losses, and we tune it according to standard neural network model. Now this is the hyperparameter tuning. Like we tried without any hidden layer, 1 hidden layer, 2 hidden layers, and then we test what is the best lambda function and what is the optimum settings. And then we try to iterate it to see the final losses and also the test loss, whether it is overfitting or not. And finally, we get our model out, and the predicted number of modules, the predicted number of modules in the whole building, the predicted number of modules in the whole story. So we get fairly good R-square results. So getting a trained neural network in an AI model may not be too convincing. So what we did was, let's pick an independent case study. So what you're looking here, this is the first case study, where you can see this is a modular building in Hong Kong, Ash Street redevelopment. It has a 1 building, 23 stories, 161 modules. It's a concrete module, and so we put into our new AI model here, and we try to learn it with different parameters. So design alternative A, what we found out is we can create 1 building, which is correct, and 23 stories and 161 module, but the layout could be slightly different. Now, if we change our design alternative into the second scheme, which we would like to have the minimum module. Now, minimum module, it is still 1 building, but it can be lessened to 17 stories. It doesn't need to go that high, 23 stories, and you only need 102 modules, which serve the whole same purpose, having the same units for each family in this building. Now, for the case study 2 is an extension that I'm working on together with my students. Now, we all know that we have experienced COVID-19, the pandemic scenario, and in China, there's this hospital being built within 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and we got hold of the info. This hospital has 833 beds, 2 buildings, 2 stories, and 1,632 modules. So we put inside with a new physical model in PINN, and with some new information regarding the number of beds and also according to codes and how big of GFA you need. So in our model here, we can predict about, based on 833 number of beds, you need 2 buildings, you can do 2-story and 1628 modules. So you can see our final refined results can predict quite well as compared to the decision made during the pandemic. Now, as a conclusion, I would like to draw your attention to 3 points. Number 1 of my conclusion is this model here built upon a philosophy of a desired path solution, which is a experience-based approach. Now, the second thing is this experience-based approach, we call it data-driven model, DDM. It can offer a conservative straightaway design that people has done it before and it's more or less can be done. And the novelty of this presentation here, and there are 2 papers that we have presented in the content of this keynote, is a new physics-informed model for AI machine learning. We have proposed this. Now I would like to acknowledge my students and also my panel of supervisors, Dr. Daniel, myself, and my PhD student who graduated, Dr. Robert Lim, and the supervisory team, Professor John Wilson, and also Professor Zhang Hing Ho from Australia and UK. And we have published this paper, a preliminary design tool for volumetric building, in this Q1 journal. Also, I would like to acknowledge my master student who has done on the AI part of the thing under Malaysia Ministry of Higher Education grant, and we have successfully delivered the idea here with a physics-informed model. Now, maybe many of you are not familiar with Sunway University. Sunway University is under the Sunway Group. Sunway Group is one of the top 3 Malaysia group, and it has 13 business units with pre-listed companies, 50 locations worldwide, and it has 16,000 employees. And in the university itself, we have about 11,000 students. We have 8 schools. We have 20 research centers, and it is a non-profit university. And I would like to show you the night view at Sunway University. This photo was taken by our president, Professor Sibrandis, and I hope that we can gather some of the you guys who participated in this conference. Feel free to drop us an email for collaboration and for other academic purpose. Now, Sunway University, our vision is to be the best university, one of the best universities in the world. And thank you very much. And my email is here. If you would like to contact me, please feel free to do so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Daniel, for your fascinating presentation. It's very technical, yeah. It's about the smart modular building preliminary, and also thank you for showing us the top 3 of Sunway University. It's very beautiful place. I wish we could visit in the future, and also we can do the collaboration in the future. Okay, now let's proceed to our plenary speakers. It is my privilege. I will introduce Dr. Engineer Agus Budi Darmawan. Are you there?
Yeah, we are here.
Okay, Pak Agus, how are you today? Long time no see.
Fine, thank you.
Here.
How are you?
Okay, before you present, so I would like to introduce about Dr. Agus. Yeah, Dr. Agus holds a PhD in electrical engineering from Technische Universität Braunschweig, Germany, and where his dissertation focused on micro LED based computational lensless microscopy. He is a recipient of several prestigious fellowships and awards, including from the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. His professional activities include serving as a reviewer for Optics Express Journal and also for the Scientific Report Journal, both highly regarded publications. Q1. Dr. Agus has an extensive body of work, having published numerous research papers in high-impact journals and also contributing significantly to the fields of micro-LED and also the lens-free. Without further ado, Dr. Agus, the floor is yours.
Okay, I will start to share my screen. Yeah, I hope you can already see my full screen. Oh. I'll try to move this one first. Is this button blocks the view?
Please say.
Can you already see my full screen right now?
I can see your slides, but it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you very much.
Please start.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Agung, for your kind introduction. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity for me to be here today. So yeah, I'm excited to present our research on the development of lab-on-chip technology. So especially about the development of lenses microscopy in TU Braunschweig. Yeah, in my talk, I will show you how this innovative technology can be applied to support sustainable medical diagnostic. So as the topic of today's conference is focused on the sustainable development goals, so I'll try to focus on how our research in TU Braunschweig can contribute to address Indonesian SDGs. Yeah, today I will focus on 4 key goals, which are ensuring healthy lives, managing water, and also improving energy efficiency and fostering innovation in technology. And I will also discuss how this microscope development aligns with these objectives. Yeah, as we already know that the microscope has become an important tools in science for centuries. Scientists use microscope to see tiny objects that cannot be seen with the naked eye. So from the earliest simple microscope to today advanced models, the quality of resulting image depend a lot on the objective lens. Yeah, currently some companies are working to create and sell more powerful microscopes, while some researchers are improving existing one to fit their requirements. Yeah, however, the objective lens come in many type and specifications, which can cause problems in experiments. The scientists need to work hard to find the right lenses for their experiments. And additionally, traditional microscopes are large and hard to use in tough conditions. Here you can see that some researchers try to put their microscope directly into the incubator. In other cases, scientists need to create complex setup with multiple lenses to get a wider field of view. This makes the microscope harder to use, especially in places with limited resources. Yeah, to solve this problem, we developed a chip-based microscope. So here you can see a drawing of the concept of chip-based microscope that consists only one chip for light source and only one chip for image capturing. So this concept is to miniaturize and make it portable and integrated them into one chip. Yeah, a lensless microscope capture images without using any objective lenses. So it consists only 3 main parts: a light source, an image detector, and a sample between. This setup operates in transmission mode to capture shadow images of the sample. To obtain clear images, the light source is crucial and requires a special design. So during the development of our lenses microscope, we test different light source to identify the most suitable illumination device. So we initially choose a laser light source because it's common use in holographic microscope. However, lasers also face several challenges such as complexity and high energy consumption. By implementing the LED light source, the system can reduce the power consumption. However, several adjustments have to be made to achieve a higher level of coherency. Yeah, in this microscope development, we take the advantage of our institute and clean room to fabricate our specific chip by depositing a metal pinhole directly on LED and produce very small LED. The fabrication process involves several steps. So we use an in-gun wafer because it can emit a blue wavelength, which offers several advantages. This includes generating smaller diffraction patterns and being suitable for applications such as fluorescence and optogenetic experiment. So starting from the wafer, we perform patterning using the photolithography process. And next step, we'll do the etching process and metal deposition to produce a small LED structure with a pinhole on top. Yeah, the process is then continue with the wiring and mounting the chip onto the PCB. So, shown in this slide, we successfully fabricate both single micro LEDs and matrix LEDs. The matrix LED itself can be accessed individually. So we also tested the coherency level of our LEDs to provide optimal spatial coherence. So now we are able to replace the big laser with the micro LED in our system. Yeah, since the LED is inexpensive and consume less energy, then we can say that yeah, we already achieve a higher level of energy efficiency in the setup. So alongside the light source, the image sensor plays also a crucial roles in capturing shadow images. So in lenses microscopes, spatial resolution is a critical parameter. This parameter directly impacts the final image quality, where smaller pixel size and pitch provide higher resolution. And the combination between the light source and image sensor has enabled us to capture sample images. However, as shown in this picture, the diffraction pattern limit the resolution. Yeah, theoretically, placing the sample directly on the detector will produce the clear image. However, we try to observe the sensor directly into the SEM, so the scanning electron microscope. All CMOS sensors have a protective transparent layer over the active semiconductor material. Yeah, the combination between the partial coherence light source and the sample sensor distance lead this diffraction pattern. Yeah, to solve this problem, we implement a computational Fourier-based image processing to reconstruct the holographic images. In this algorithm, the 2D holographic image will be first converted into the frequency domain using a Fourier transform. Then we employing the wavelength of the light source and the refractive index between the sample and the sensor. And then the signal will be reconstructed into the different Z position. Yeah, finally, the inverse Fourier transform will be performed to restore the signal to the spatial domain as an image. With this algorithm, we can achieve effective simulate the lens function by providing working distance and focus adjustment in our microscope. So this algorithm can achieve sharp images with resolution around 2 micron. Yeah, now our lenses microscopes enables to be used as a microscopic imaging. So as shown in this slide, the lenses microscope is very compact in size. It can also be controlled uh, using a laptop or smartphone. Therefore, this microscope is suitable for conducting experiment directly inside the incubator or for outdoor measurement. In addition to this capability, the lenses microscope offers several advantages over conventional microscope. So compared to the lens-based microscope, the lenses microscope allows us to capture image with the high resolution and a wider field of view at the same time. This advantage reduces the data storage requirement and enables high throughput imaging for quick and efficient analysis of large sample volumes. Yeah, we also develop an autofocus algorithm which capable of automatically determining the sharpest image. Here we use a method that calculate the intensity distribution of holographic images. As shown in this slide, the sharpest image appears with when the correct Z value is applied. So the distribution is illustrated an asymmetric distribution of a high contrast between the image and the background, while the blurry holographic images shown a Gaussian shape distribution. Yeah, by analyzing the distribution, the system is able to maintain autofocus even when the object move in the Z directions. So you can see in this video that our autofocus and far focal algorithm continuously achieve sharp images. We try to put the sample in the stages here and then move the sample in the Z direction, and then you can see here that with the normal lenses microscope we will limit it by the diffraction pattern, but with our algorithm we can see the microscope can produce clear images. Yeah, the resolution in lenses microscope depends heavily on the sensor pixel size. So it means that smaller pixel can produce better resolution. However, reducing pixel size is also reduce the area of photodetector. It also increasing the noise. Yeah, to enhance spatial resolution, we employ a sub-pixel resolution approach. In this approach, we will use the micro LED arrays as the light source, and this LED will be activated one by one. With different LED position, the image sensor will able to capture holographic images at different position. Yeah, from this process, it is expected to get sub-pixel information from the object. Yeah, this method requires capturing multiple low-resolution images from various light source position. Yeah, then the process continue with the shifting calculation of all images, and then the upsampling process followed by subpixel translation, and alignment is performed to create high-resolution image. Yeah, by implementing this approach, our lenses microscope effectively enhance the pixel pitch and achieving the magnification in subpixel resolution. As a result, our lenses microscope now resolve object down to 800 nanometers in size. So yeah, next we'll see how this lenses microscope can be used as a medical observation device and water monitoring. Yeah, this lasers microscope has been tested for living cell imaging. So together with the biology department TU Braunschweig, we used the microscope to observe algae and tumor cells. So these results so that we are able to observe moving algae and accurately capturing different shape of thermal cells inside the incubator. So this experiment done directly inside the incubator. And by implementing the autofocus algorithm and Z value of each cells, the lenses microscope can accurately estimate the 3D position of single or multiple cells. So the microscope can generate information of various cell behavior. For example, you can see in two different cell in here. So one cell was observed diving, yeah, while the other cells observed drifted mode. Yeah, these systems also calculate the velocity information of the cells based on the object position and the frame rates. Yeah, in another collaboration with the Institute of Pharmacy Department in TU Braunschweig, we utilize our lenses microscope to monitor long-term pancreatic islet for drug delivery. So this experiment also done directly inside the incubator. The mean 6 cells were continuously observed inside the incubator for 5 days non-stop. And this allowing scientists to monitor pancreatic islet growth. Yeah, next we also use this lenses microscope to monitor wastewater. So this microscope can be used to detect the bacteria inside the water. In addition, we attach the microscope into a microbial fuel cell here. So the setup will observe active bacteria which generate current in electrode. Yeah, now we understand how this lenses microscope aligns with these 4 goals. So especially in the technological innovation, energy efficiency, and its potential to support medical experiment and clean water monitoring. Yeah, in conclusion, yeah, the lenses microscope represent a pioneering advancement in microscopic imaging technology. It's low cost, portable, and robust, which enable long-term experiment in harsh environment. The ability of capturing high resolution images over a wide field of view, along with several features like autofocus and 3D object estimation, make this lenses microscope reliable for various experiment. So yeah, in the future, we still want to have an improvement for our LED and sensor technologies, and also with the better composition algorithm. Yeah, we try to enhance the performance and the usability of this lenses microscope. So yeah, thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Agus. Yeah, it's very impressive. It's about the lab-on-chip lenses microscopy. Wow, it's for sharing your. Thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Agus, you still there, right? We have a question and answer after Prof. Hermanto present his insight. So it's now my pleasure to introduce our final speaker for today's. The name is Professor Dr. Insinyur Fermanto Lianto from Universitas Tarumanagara, Indonesia. Prof. Fermanto, are you there? Okay, before he introduces his insight of presentations, I would like to introduce his CV. So, Prof. Fermanto is a distinguished professor of architecture and a lecturer in both undergraduate and also postgraduate programs at Universitas Tarumanagara, Jakarta. He holds a professional architect's license in Indonesia, and he has vast experience in building design and also construction management, particularly for high-rise buildings, and also his expertise also extends to fashion architecture and engineering technology. Prof. Firmanto earned his bachelor's in architecture engineering and also master's in civil engineering from Universitas Tarumanagara, followed by a doctorate in architecture from Parayangan Catholic University. Among his notable projects, I mentioned one is the Catholic Church of Saint Vincentius Pallotti in Tangerang, Banten. The second one is the Darul Ihsan Mosque in Bekasi, for which he contribute both architectural and also structural design. Also, he have a lot of notable projects. Okay, without further ado, Prof. Firmanto, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Agung. Yeah. Is my slide is ready?
Yes, I can see your slides now about biophilic design. Right? Okay.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Okay. I want to present about the biophilic design, integrating nature in building sustainable cities to achieve SDGs. The definition of biophilic design. Biophilic design is extension of green design and originates from the word of biophilia, which means love of nature, which refer to a deep human desire for nature and urge to connect with it, human love for the environment. Biophilic design strengthens the connection between humans and nature and integrates it into built environments, place to live, work, and play or recreate, to use natural elements such as plants, natural light, water, wind, natural scenery, and organic materials to create greener, more environmentally friendly, calming, and sustainable environments that aim to enhance human physical health, well-being, emotional, and mental health. Concept of biophilic design. The concept of biophilic design is based on the idea that connection between human and nature is essential for human health, well-being, and environmental quality. This is achieved by creating healthier, more comfortable, productive spaces and built environment for building occupants. Visual connection and integration with nature. Integrating natural element or organic material such as plants, water, wood, and stone, bamboo into buildings by using large windows to maximize views, and natural lighting using glass roof to maximize electricity. Natural light and air circulation. Prioritizing the use of natural light and implementation good ventilation system in space design, whether through the use of large windows or atriums, to create a more lively and energetic atmosphere. Green open spaces. Creating green open spaces within cities, such as urban park, vertical gardens, and roof gardens, which is provide places for activity and recreation, improve air quality, absorb excess rainwater, and support urban biodiversity. Simulation or replication of nature structure. Human nature naturally respond to diversity of nature, such as nature pattern, leaf, wood, stone, motifs, color, sounds, and texture, including using elements that mimic or reflect natural diversity in space design and built environment. Sensor simulation and multisensory engagement. utilizing multi-sensory human experiences to extend connection with nature, including the use of flower, natural sounds, as sound of water flowing, bird singing, or the use of natural scenes like flowers, wood, and touch. Sustainability principles: use of environmentally friendly materials, sustainable construction practice, and maintaining a healthy living environment. Biophilic design alternative is represent like this to find the good implementation for the building. Biophilic design and city. A phenomenon occurring in urban areas is the decreasing number of trees and green plants, especially in large office buildings. Biophilic design offers many benefits when applied to create sustainable, healthy, and comfortable cities to live in, while also adding economic value to urban areas. Reducing environmental impact. By integrating natural elements such as use of natural light, natural ventilation, environmentally friendly materials, roof gardens, green walls, and urban parks, biophilic design can reduce the negative environmental impact of urban areas, such as air pollution, urban heat, flooding, and reduce energy and resources consumption, as well as carbon emission from buildings. Improving public space quality and social connection. Enriching public spaces with natural elements like park, urban forests, and beautified river can create a more pleasant, attractive, and comfortable environment for city dwellers to engage in outdoor activities, gather, enhance social interaction, create stronger communities, and strengthen the bond between human and nature. Enhancing productivity, creativity, health, and well-being. Bring nature elements like plants, water, and natural lighting into urban environment, along with green view and use of organic material can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression levels while improving focus, concentration, innovation, mood, and productivity. Increasing attractiveness and property value. Cities that adopt biophilic design tend to be more attractive to residents and visitors. Green open spaces, city parks, and green corridors can increase property values, attract investment, and help beautify the city as a whole. Step toward a biophilic city. Education and public awareness. Through information campaign, workshop, seminars, and school education raise public awareness about the benefits of biophilic design and the importance of connectivity with nature. Policy and regulation. Developing policies and regulation that support the implementation of biophilic design in urban planning and development, including integrating biophilic design principles into zoning regulation, building requirement, and city planning guidelines. Interdisciplinary collaboration, encouraging collaboration between various stakeholders, including city governments, developers, architects, engineers, NGOs, and civil society. This partnership can facilitate the exchange of ideas, resources, and support for biophilic design projects. Technological innovation. promoting innovation in technologies that support the implementation of biophilic design, such as weather sensors for urban park management, automatic irrigation system, and environmentally friendly building materials. Urban design and planning. Incorporating biophilic design principles into urban design and planning process. This involves forming multidisciplinary teams consisting of architect, urban planner, environment experts, and local communities to design and expand green spaces, city park, and supporting infrastructure. Demonstration project, developing biophilic design demonstration project that showcase the benefit and potential of applying these principles in an urban context. This project can serve as inspirational examples for other cities and help convince stakeholders of the value of biophilic design. Evaluation and learning. Conducting evaluation of existing biophilic design projects to identify successes, challenges, and emerging opportunities. Lessons learned from these experiences can be used to improve future practice and policies. Capacity development, building professional and institutional capacity to plan, implement, and manage biophilic design project through training, certification, and the development of educational programs focused on sustainable design. This is a tour of biophilic design before and after animation. We can see the building with the flowers, with the plants, and maybe have a bird singing, water flowing, and so on. It will be make very comfortable for the people and the public community. Biophilic design and sustainable development goals. Biophilic design focuses on integrating natural elements into building and environmental design to enhance the health, well-being, comfortable of occupants. This concept is closely related to several sustainable development goals. SDG 3, good health and well-being. The presence of natural elements such as natural light, fresh air, green space, and access to the natural environment can improve public health, reduce stress levels, improve mood, and increase productivity. SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. The application of biophilic design integrates natural elements, rainwater connection system, and efficient wastewater management, not only creating a healthier environment for humans, but also supporting the sustainability of ecosystem and water resources as a whole. SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. Biophilic design reduce energy need through the use of natural lighting, natural cross ventilation, implementation of renewable energy technologies such as solar panel, and the arrangement of green open spaces can reduce energy needs for cooling and artificial lighting. SDG 11, sustainable city and communities. Biophilic design will reduce carbon emissions, support climate change mitigation, reduce the urban heat island effect, improve air quality, health, and safe public spaces for city residents, and provide useful recreational spaces. SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. Biophilic design encourage the use of environmentally friendly and sustainable material in construction process. These include recycled materials, renewable resources, and design that minimize waste with emphasis responsible production and consumption. SDG 13, climate action. Biophilic design reduces dependence on artificial cooling system through natural ventilation and lowers air temperature, in urban environmental through scenery and natural infrastructure. It can be function as carbon sink and reduce the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. SDG 15, life on land. Biophilic design incorporates natural elements such as urban parks, vertical gardens, and urban forests, creating habitats for wildlife and supporting plant life in urban area that are often degraded by infrastructure development. Case study of biophilic design implementation for Tech Quad Hospital Singapore, implementation of SDG 3. Tech Quad Hospital uses biophilic design such as green open spaces, fountains, and small garden on each floor, thereby improving patient well-being, accelerating healing, and reducing energy. New York City, green roof and walls as implementation of SDG 6, 11, and 13. New York is leveling the rooftop of commercial and residential buildings to create rooftop gardens as part of its biophilic design initiative. Brooklyn Greens, a rooftop garden concept that supports sustainability by sourcing local food, helping to manage stormwater runoff, and lowering temperature in the urban environment. Singapore Sustainable Garden City, implementation of SDG 13 and 15. With the nickname City in the Garden, Singapore integrates large parks, vertical gardens, green walls, and green roofs into its buildings and public infrastructure. Garden by the Bay is a futuristic park that includes this giant vertical garden, super tree groves, and bioclimatic domes that house a variety of tropical and subtropical plant species. This effort not only enhance by the biodiversity, but also reduce the urban heat island effect and improve the quality of life for residents. Yeah, maybe we have a question. Are artificial synthetic plants included in the biophilic design concept? Maybe we can discuss this for the next. Conclusion. Biophilic design is an approach to design that aims to strengthen the connection between human and nature by integrating natural elements into built environments. The importance of biophilic design in building sustainable city lies in its benefit, which include enhancing human health and well-being, reducing environmental impact, improving the quality of public spaces, and increasing property values. By adhering to the principle of biophilic design, cities can create healthier, more comfortable environments that are connected to nature, ultimately enhancing the quality of life for their inhabitants and promoting environmental sustainability. Biophilic design plays a crucial role in supporting several SDGs by integrating natural into everyday life and creating spaces that supports human health, environmental sustainability, and climate change mitigation. Implementing of this concept not only improves the quality of life, but also significantly contribute to the achievement of global goals for a more sustainable future. Recommendation: encouraging greater use of biophilic design in future urban development is essential. We can start by raising public awareness about the benefits of biophilic design and the importance of connecting with nature. Additionally, support from the government, developer, architect, and civil society is needed to ensure that the principles of biophilic design are integrated to its city planning policies, construction practice, and infrastructure development. Collaboration across sectors, technological innovation, and demonstration projects can also help strengthen by implementation of biophilic design at the city level. Through this collective effort, we can create more sustainable, healthier, attractive cities for future generation. And this is the references. And thank you very much, Sagung.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Irmanto, for your insightful presentation. So actually, we do have a question and answer session, but unfortunately, I checked that the links, there is no question so far. Is there any audience, would you like to ask something? Not sure, maybe no? Okay. Prof. Irmanto, before I forgot that, maybe the last one I still remember about biophilic designs, right? So, are you there, Prof?
Yes, Ms. Agung.
Okay, I would like to ask that you have demonstrate about what is biophilic designs, and biophilic design can contribute also for SDGs, right? So my question is, how do you suggest the cities measures the success of these designs, particularly in terms of, you mentioned before about to improving health, well-being, and also sustainability?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Agung, for the good question. Okay, I will try to answer. Maybe we can conducting surveys and give the questionnaire to residents after the implementation of biophilic design. How are their health condition, stress level, and breath, and so on. So we can collect it, and we know the changes of the life. And the others, measuring the level of air quality and pollution level that occur after the implementation of biophilic design. Yeah, we can take the metering there and check the weather and the condition, yeah, the pollution and so on. And then remeasuring the cost of electricity usage before and after the implementation of biophilic design. This is more easier to see the cost of electric before implementation of biophilic design and after. I think maybe we can increase the number of animals living and biodiversity. Yeah, we can see many animals good for the health and more comfortable for the residents. Yeah, and so on. Yeah, maybe that's way it's
all right, that is very clear for me. Yeah, thank you, Prof. Irmanto. Anyway, we still have one more questions from the audience, maybe. Anyone's? No? And also I checked it on the links, there is no question so far. Okay, so maybe I should close. Okay, before I conclude, so I would like to take a moment to reflect on today's key takeaways. The first one's from Dr. Daniel. He discussed about smart modular building preliminary designs, and also Dr. Agus, he focused on the lensless microscopy innovative technologies, and also Prof. Irmanto from Explore Biophilic Designs. So together the insights showcase how cutting-edge technologies and designs are shaping a more resilient and sustainable future. I would like to extend my heartfelt thank you to Professor Dr. Daniel and also Dr. Engineer Agus Budi Darmawan. Yeah, you still awake? Yeah, because in Germany I check it's 6 o'clock right now, and then we start the conference maybe 5 hours ago. So I hope you can sleep tonight. And also Prof. Irmanto for their excellent presentation. So let's us continue to collaborate and also innovative as we strive to bridge energy efficiency and also environmental stewardship. That wraps up the segments for our program. So I will now handing things to our MC and to take us through the next part of the day. Thank you, everyone.
Let's give an applause to Bapak Agung Saryatmo, PhD. Thank you to all speakers of TICATE 2024 plenary sessions and Bapak Agung Saryatmo, PhD as our moderator. We would like to hand over certificates to all speakers for the TICATE 2024 plenary sessions. It's for Associate Professor Dr. Daniel Louis Tingui.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes. Thank you to Associate Professor Dr. Daniel Louis Tingui. And next, the e-certificates for Dr. Ing Agus Budi Darmawan, Eskom NT Master of Science. And next, the e-certificate also given to Professor Dr. Insinyur Fernando Lianto, MT. Okay, thank you for all the insightful knowledge you have all shared with us today. And not at last list, but we would like to invite Associate Professor Insinyur Yap Cibeng and Associate Professor Dr. Mihani Cokro-Saputro to hand over certificates to our moderator today in TICASH and TICATE 2024 plenary sessions to Bapak Agung Saryatmo, PhD. Thank you for moderating us today, Bapak Agung Saryatmo, PhD. Thank you to Associate Professor Insinyur Yap Cibeng and Associate Professor Dr. Mihani Cokro-Saputro. You may go. Thank you. All right, thank you for a great plenary session for today, dear all participants. I would like to remind all participants to fill in the presence list form for plenary session of TICASH and TICATE 2024. The link is in the chat room. And now we would like also to remind some of the rules for reminder for our parallel session in the afternoon after the lunch break. Please join the parallel session at 1:15. The first parallel session will be started at 1:30 p.m. at Jakarta time. And please check the schedule and also read all the rules for the parallel session in TICASH and TICATE 2024 program book. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Universitas Tarumanegara, we would like to say thank you for joining this conference. Special thanks to our speakers, all presenters, participants, and committee members whom supported and contributed for making this conference running well. We apologize if there is any uncomfortable things during the conference. We hope we will meet again next year in the same event. Stay healthy, stay safe, God bless, and have a pleasant day. Oke, buat para mahasiswa yang masih ada di sini, silakan yuk kita foto bersama yuk di sini. Kita foto bersama dengan Pak Yap, kemudian masih ada Profesor Sam, Pak Agung, Bu Miharni, para panitia, Bu Miharni mana nih? Kemudian juga para panitia, semuanya mari kita foto bersama dulu. Yang laki-laki, yang mahasiswa di depan, yang mahasiswi di sini tengah-tengah salah ya Bu ya. Yang perempuan ya, yang mahasiswi dulu deh, yang mahasiswi dulu baris dulu di depan Prof Sam, depan Pak Yap, Bu Tia, silakan. Mahasiswinya dulu. Yang peserta, oh ya, baik. Kepada para peserta conference yang datang, boleh silakan Bapak Ibu. Kemudian yang mahasiswa, laki-laki. Nah, jongkok aja ya di bawah kali ya, biar muat ya. Silakan.